We are talking about the greater good.
Hi, I'm Sarah Katz. Do you want to live a more optimistic life? Well, I'm here to help. In this podcast, I'll be discussing a variety of topics, such as positivity, motivation, and self-love, to ultimately inspire you to live your best and blessed life. So, let's chat. This is... Hello, all you beautiful people. Welcome to Skatz Chats. Thank you so much for coming to today's episode. If you are a new listener, then welcome. I hope you stick with us for a long time. If you're a returning friend, then welcome back. We appreciate you coming either way. So welcome. I wanted to do a little check-in with you all and see if you all are liking the Skatz's 5 affirmations from episode 19 and from our last episode, episode 20, creating meaningful relationships with the right people. I just wanted to check in and see if you all are reflecting on those episodes and honestly analyzing your friendships and seeing if people are your real friends and going through Skatz's 5 affirmations and really pumping yourself up to start living the life you want to now. So that's all. I just wanted to check in and, feel free to send us a DM, anything like that, on Instagram, and we'll be happy to respond and have a little chat with you. And speaking of Instagram, by the way, we wanted to remind you that we are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and yes, now YouTube. Just search Skatz Chats and you will find us. And if you do love this podcast also, please feel free to write us a review on Apple Podcasts and you will get a special shout out on our Instagram page. So support us and honestly submit your honest thoughts. Honesty is the best policy. So go over there and support us that way. And I do give generalized advice on my podcast, but if you want me to give more guidance on a specific situation or something you're going through right now, you can submit an anonymous question on our Ask Skatz Google form, which the link to that can be found in my Instagram bio. So Ask Skatz is an amazing and free way to get some advice more tailored to you. So go over there and check that out on Instagram. But in today's episode, I'm covering 8 solid reasons why you should never give up. And before we actually start today's episode, let me tell you a very funny story. You will not believe this. I actually recorded this episode for the first time, and all of my data got lost. I don't know how. So this is the second time we're recording this episode, and you know what? It's just honestly perfect because we're talking about why you should never give up. I wasn't going to give up and not release the next episode because all my previous recording was lost. No, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to record a second time for you all and make this recording even better than the last one. I'm still going to show up right here and now for you. That is what this podcast is all about. So that's a little funny story. I basically went through that just 2 seconds ago. But we're here right now. We're here today. So we're talking about 8 reasons why you should never give up. So I'm sure there have been many times where you have wanted to give up, just like when, in my situation, maybe you've written a paper and all of your data got lost right before the deadline when you were going to turn it in. Classic story, right? Or it could be anything, like I said, school related for your job, or you want to give up your passion project, a relationship, and kind of on a more serious note too. I mean, maybe there is someone out there who has wanted to give up on their life, and that is a really serious issue that I hope, those people out there can get the help that they need. But, there are many situations where we fail and we don't know how to overcome. And then we start doubting ourselves. There's that self-doubt like we talked about in episode 18, right? Then we start thinking we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not tall enough, anything, whatever the case may be. And that point right there, when we feel that negative, dark cloud over us, that point is when we feel like throwing in the towel. But I'm here for you today, my friend. I'm here to remind you and give you 8 solid reasons why you just need to keep going and to not give up. So reason number 1 is you are doing this for a reason. And I know that sounds a little bit broad, but let me give you a classic example, like college. You are there to get an education. And yes, this is a huge commitment and will soon be a huge accomplishment also. But you have to understand there is a reason why you started school and a reason why you want to get where you want to be, whatever kind of degree or certification you want to get. No matter what the situation is, though, I think the easiest part is to think about your why. Why are you doing this? There must be at least one good positive reason why you started this in the first place. Which leads me into reason number 2, which is don't disappoint your past self when you first made the decision to start this journey. So when you figure out your why, you remember your past self and how determined and excited you were to start that journey. Whether, again, that may be college or a podcast, for example, or anything. But don't disappoint that person in the past who made a point to accomplish and follow through with this certain commitment. Let's say, also, let me give you a different example. Let's say for a new job. You've accepted this new position that was offered to you with the hopes that you will be successful, right? And everyone has their mishaps and struggles and mistakes. I've certainly, made mistakes in my job as well. But you can't let these little things get to your head and interfere with your path to success. Don't let that person down who was eager to start this new chapter. Continue to let those obstacles be learning lessons and just continue to move forward. Moving forward is the positive way, and giving up is the negative way. And as you know in my podcast, I'm trying to help you live a more positive life and make more positive decisions that you will thank yourself for in the future. Which is a great segue into number 3, which is your future self will thank you for not giving up. I can remember when I was just about to graduate college, there's always that question that's asked, whether that's from a professor or a fellow student, or even if you're interviewing for a job. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Right? Well, your future self, 5 years from now, will thank you for not letting that one little tiny mistake get to your head and make you want to give up. Like, let's say, your answer to where do you see yourself in 5 years could be, I want to own a brick and mortar store. I want to own a clothing line and have that be in a brick and mortar store. But maybe 1 or 2 years along the way, there could be, and there is going to be, it's inevitable, some sort of mistake or obstacle that you must face. So your future self will thank you for not giving up and moving forward from that mistake and figuring it out, because you know what? You're smart. You're able to figure out and find a solution to any problem that you face. You have to believe in yourself at the same time. And your future self will be celebrating all the continued success you've had. And I guarantee you, my friend, that your future self will believe the journey was worth it through all the bumps in the road. Because you ultimately pushed through and you achieved all that you wanted to achieve. You will be literally sitting on your yacht soon enough, I promise, sipping your champagne or martini or any drink of choice that you want, and you will say, you know what? If I had the chance, I will do it all over again. I guarantee you. And reason number 4 is that there will be doors that could be opened for you if you keep striving forward, and you never know of those possible doors if you give up. Sticking with the work example too, if you continue to go the extra mile and strive forward long enough, your supervisor or boss may recognize your dedication and your hard work, and quite possibly, they will reward you with a raise or even a higher position. If you're pursuing art as a career, let's say like music, for example, if you continue to strive forward and keep recording, writing, releasing music, and promoting your content, some amazing opportunities might come up for you as well. Okay, well, let's think about Justin Bieber, for example, because why not? We love Justin Bieber. So let's think about him. But Justin was discovered through YouTube. Like, it can literally happen to anybody. And again, it all comes down to you have to believe in yourself. You have to keep going because, again, you don't know about these doors that could be open for you if you give up. You may never know. If you just stop it altogether, that means you're giving up on the what ifs. And the what ifs could be once in a lifetime opportunities that you would be missing. Now, number 5 is one of my favorites because this is just really where, the heart comes into play. But number 5 is there are people out there who are inspired by you and look up to you already, and you may not even know it. That could be, younger people in your life, like your siblings, cousins, students, your kids, but maybe even people who were older than you as well, like your parents, your boss even, your grandparents, anybody like that. The list goes on and on. At least one single person on this earth is inspired by you. And it's because of you that they have developed some goals and dreams for themselves. And once you know that there are people out there who do look up to you, that will give you motivation to continue to be a positive figure and role model for them. You have role models and people who you look up to yourself, right? So show the people who look up to you that success is actually obtainable. Show them that you can get through the struggles, that you can lift yourself back up after you fall flat on your freaking face. Be the inspiration that others think you are and know that you are. And ultimately, you'll inspire yourself too. And you will show yourself that you can do this. You just have to keep going. Reason number 6 is that everything is figure-outable and will all work out in the end. Everything works out for the best and works out how it's supposed to. That's the philosophy that I personally believe in. And I'm not going to pressure you to believe that if you truly don't believe that. But continue to just have a positive mindset and know that you do have support from your people, your friends, your family, your tribe, essentially. And there are resources out there for you to be able to succeed. And again, like I keep saying throughout this episode, build faith in yourself that you are able to make the best decision for you and you will ultimately do what is best for you. Reason number 7 is that you are conquering your fears by moving forward, and that will ultimately help you gain courage and self-confidence. Let's talk about dating as an example. And, as we all know, dating is hard. Dating kind of sucks. I've learned that recently. But even though it's hard, and, maybe you've been seeing someone and it just didn't work out, and you're kind of like, okay, I'm kind of afraid to put myself out there again. But when you do eventually, you're conquering your fears. You're kind of saying to yourself, okay, you know what? This is worth it. After taking some time and doing your own self-reflection, this is worth it. I'm going to put myself out there again. I'm going to have my heart open, everything like that. So by continuing to move forward and to not give up, essentially, you're conquering your own fears that you may have of failing. And this will, again, prove to yourself that you can do it. And you do have the capability to strive forward and keep going. And that right there, my friends, is major self-growth too. I think that sometimes the best lessons that we can learn are honestly the hard way. If we go through the thick of it, if we do make a mistake and we really just shame ourselves and we go through all that negative stuff, but we come out in a positive way at the end, that is major self-growth for us because we ourselves lived through it. So whatever situation you're in right now, you are living through it. You have the chance right now in your hands to turn this situation into a positive one, to help other people realize that success is obtainable. And you do have to go through the highs and lows. That's what it's all about. It's all about the journey and conquering your fears through that and helping you gain courage and self-confidence. And finally, reason number 8, I love this one because it kind of sums up everything, but you will feel like you can do anything and get past any struggle. You will look back at this moment that you wanted to give up and be proud of yourself for pushing through. You will think, you know what? No challenge is too big or small for me. I can overcome them all. You will think, you know what? I got through all of that shit. That's what you will say, and maybe you'll say that in tears. But you know what? Again, you will have the self-confidence and courage to say to yourself, I can get through all the tough shit that's in my future. And that is for real right there. That will ultimately help you create this kind of chain reaction. And again, you'll feel much more comfortable maybe doing or starting things also that you were maybe scared to do. I think maybe once you conquer your fear of one thing, then maybe you'll want to go skydiving. I think that skydiving is a big kind of, adventurous, daredevil type activity that people do on a whim and when they're feeling really good. And you know what? If you wanted to go skydiving for a long time, or zip lining, or bungee jumping, or any daredevil-y type activity like that, dude, freaking do it, That's awesome. If you feel like you're up for that, then by all means do it. If you feel good, just do it. So again, that kind of chain reaction where once you overcome one thing, then you'll want to do something else that's daring. So those are our 8 reasons why you should never give up and you should always keep going. And of course, if you are feeling extremely overwhelmed and you feel like your mental health is taking a toll on you, then just take a step back, readjust your mindset and energy, and come back to the situation once you've had a chance to recoup. At the end of the day, you do have to put yourself first, including your mental health. But think about this. You do have to also take into account the time, energy, your passion, your future success, all of the hard work that you put into this thing, and you have to finish it off strong, okay? You can do this. I'm talking to you right now. Are you listening? You can do this. You have to have faith in yourself that you can, and you have to keep in mind these 8 reasons why you should keep going and to never give up. And on that note, we have our quote of the day from the famous poet Rupi Kaur from the book Milk and Honey. So this is going to be on page 156, and here we go. If you were born with the weakness to fall, you were born with the strength to rise. And I think that really sums up everything that we've talked about today. If you have the ability to make a mistake, then you have the ability to overcome it, to keep going forward, to realize, mistakes are just learning lessons. If I could do that, I could do anything. If I can overcome one little silly thing, I can do anything. And again, be the good example. Show others that you can. Show others that they can. Show your kids that they can be anything they want to be. Set the good example. Do something good for yourself and do something good for others. I want to thank you all genuinely and seriously for supporting this podcast. It makes me feel good to help you feel good at the same time. It's kind of like that chain reaction sort of thing that I was talking about earlier. And I hope that through any of these episodes, you can gain something and take it to your own life. And again, if you do want personalized advice, you can go to our Ask Skatz Google form and you could check that out. The link is on our Instagram bio. And if you're struggling, if you're in a place where you're like, I don't know if I could do this, if that self-doubt is creeping in, re-listen to this episode, or even just send us a DM on Instagram or email us. Our doors are always open for your questions, comments, concerns, any feedback, anything like that. We will respond to you. We will get back to you. We're here to help you. That is what I'm here for. That is what this podcast is here for. And through that, again, I want to thank you for supporting us, making it all the way to the end. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there, stay positive, and make sure to never give up. If you need a reminder, just let us know. Hit us up. We'll see you on the next episode of Skatz Chats. Bye-bye! Thank you so much for listening to Skatz Chats. If you'd like to request a topic of discussion, head over to our website at www.skatzchats.com. The Skatz Chats logo is designed by Nkartz, and our theme song is written and produced by Daddy Lacus.